This big digger got the brains of a 7-year-old and the body of an inbred Hulk. Let's jump into the lore, my manga. This guy is the Digger, and he is another OC inserted by our Diamond Guild members. While he was originally created in the Deep Stalker Crow timeline, because he was frozen in a mining operation for over 500 years, he's now in the Devil's Deal timeline. Just like every other Diamond OC, not only do you get to go into the lore of the mangas, but you also get roleplay sessions. So let's talk about his session. Because this is the same player who also inserted the baby swallowing mother. You know, the malformed changeling. I also need you to keep in mind, he also inserted Vanta and died in his very first roleplay session. Imagine dropping $200 to get your dragon character killed. Because you want to talk to a dragon while he's burying you alive instead of, getting out of a hole. But anyway, so the Digger's de-thawed out and he's like, what's going on? What's going on? So he starts walking up through the mine shaft and he ends up running in to a bunch of children who, upon seeing him, he just starts walking to them. Keep in mind, he is like 8 feet tall and looks like this. So as any good child would do, they run away screaming. And because he has a literal phobia of the sun, as soon as they open the door, he backs off. When the kids don't come back, he explores the cave a little bit. And in the first bypass tunnel, he discovers that some of the disposable ones, if you're familiar with SCP, think of like the D class, have been turned into flesh creatures that are now bound to the wall. And the back of that outshoot is literally one massive wall of moving flesh with a tentacled skull attached by literal spines, just aimlessly looking around. And then on the other tunnel, he sees it's completely lined with gold and he's like, oh boy. But as he goes forward, a centipede walks ahead of him on the wall, and as soon as it touches onto that gold, it literally turns into gold. So he decides, you know what, I'm just gonna hang out until nighttime so I can leave. Because now he discovered, after looking at his gear that was supposedly at the beginning of the tunnel, one of these orbs right here that allow his hands to be attached are gone. So he believes the kids took it. So when nightfall hits, he starts wandering his little self down the trail, finds a lone cabin, sees somebody sleeping in it with a big old great axe on the wall. And this claymore has 3 runes in it, so he just keeps on walking. And when he gets to the town, that's basically a mining town, he hides off in the distance, notices there's a few guards walking around with a lantern that basically can curl and basically turn into a spotlight. As he continues to observe, he notices a young couple coming out of the woods and sneaking into their own respective houses. So before morning comes, because he didn't find anything useful, he goes into an abandoned treehouse, and as he's trying to sleep, he hears some noises happening and figures out that one of the guys walking around is one of the guards, and the fact that his sister had heard a monster during their little expedition. So he's like, okay, cool, that's the guard. I gotta go follow him. So when the sun goes down before the guards come out, he's like, okay, I'm gonna identify them. Luckily, his roles help him identify the 2 houses. And boys, this is where shit gets off the rails. Because he goes into the first house because he doesn't know who's who yet. And he's like sneaking around as he hears some movement in the bathroom, checks all the other doors, no one's there. Goes into the bathroom, sees a dude literally sawing the head off of this woman who's in the bathtub. For what reason? We don't know. He didn't investigate. He's just like, I gotta kill this guy. So he kills him and then runs to the other dude's house. And the other dude's house, you know what he does? When he finds out all the doors and windows are locked, he just goes up to the door and just crunches the handle and runs the fuck away. So he sees some dude walk out in his underwear, looking around, and notices he's got a tattoo of a naked woman on his back, and then goes back in the house. And then as soon as the door closes, everything goes pitch black. This dude can see in the dark, but he cannot see through this layer of darkness that has dropped on this house. So you know what he does? Some might say he waits to see what happens. Others says you give up and you go back the next day. Not the Digger. Not this little Digger right here. He goes to walk in the house, push the door in, and as soon as that door opens, he catches a lightning bolt right to the chest. Still can't see in the house, and this dude walks out, still in his underwear, with that back tattoo glowing now of a different figure. Embedded in the full back piece tattoo is a hidden image of Reaper, goddess of death. So as this sorcerer's literally slinging lightning spells, knocking away at his house, you know what he does? He does nothing. He continues to try to look for his peace, ignoring the dude shooting lightning at him, doesn't try to talk to him, doesn't try to motion I'm harmless. He's just tanking attacks until he gets to 1 HP. The dude has literally already blown his own house up trying to kill the digger because he thinks he's from an organization that's hunting him and his kids down. He's already sent the kid to go hide. So I'm like, bro, do you want a hint at what you should do right now? And he's like, yes, please, because he's got 1 hit point left. And we're like, talk to the man. Do something. Because before, when he lost Vanna, he was talking too much. But this time, he's not talking at all. Dude thinks he's a threat. So it's then he starts trying to communicate, and then the situation de-escalates. And so effectively, they exchange words. The guy basically gets his kid, gets his adventuring buddy, because they were an adventuring group who is now taking the digger under their wing to use him to break their third party member that's been captured out of whatever prison she's in. And yeah, he was 1 turn away from losing his second character. If you want to get your character in the manga like Black Chan here, or into the greater lore, grab a diamond sub, get caught up on the series by grabbing a copy of The Devil's Deal and Night of Slaughter. Which OC do you want to know about next?